This is just a video to help you review how to graph a line using a table of values. We'll see two types of table of values, horizontal table and a vertical table. The X is going to be on the top if it's a horizontal, and remember the X is my input value. The Y will be on the bottom. That's what you get. That's the output. When we were referring to proportional relationships, the X was the independent variable, so we could pick those, and then Y depended on what we chose for X. So it was the dependent variable. And when we graph these, we need to recall that the X is the horizontal axis and the Y is the to the sky. It's the vertical axis. Where these lines cross, that is the point 0, 0, and it's called the origin. So let's do an example of graphing a line using a table of values. This is an equation that tells you y is going to equal x, whatever we choose for x, plus 8 more. So the x in this table of values, a vertical table of values, is actually given. They say that x, they want you to input this value for x. So you're going to plug in -2 for x plus 8. When you add those, remember your integer rules. The signs are different. You're going to find the difference and keep the sign of the larger. So it's going to equal 6. That means y is 6 when x is -2. You're going to plot the point x -2, y equals 6. Then you can find the rest of these points. When x is -1, you're going to substitute in -1 for x. Instead of writing x, you now have a value for that. So you're going to plug that in. Y is 7. So the point you're going to graph is going to be -1 for x and 7 for y. When you plug in 0 for x, plus 8, you get 8. That means when x is 0, y is 8. Continue working. You plug in the values for x, you simplify it or solve, and then you have a point when x is 1, y is going to be 9. Finally, for this table of values, they had 2. So when x is 2, y is going to be 10. These are the ordered pairs that you're going to plot. Remember that the x always comes first in the ordered pair. It is the horizontal, and the y is the vertical. So I am going to go over -2, and I'm going to go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can't really see the numbers. 6. I'm sure you can't either. -1. When x is -1, y is going to be 7. When x is 0, so I'm still on the axis because I haven't moved left or right, y is going to be 8. When x is 1, 9. When x is 2, y is 10. So now that you have all of these points, you can draw this line. This is the equation of a line when it is equal to x plus 8. There's my not too bad straight line. This is the line y equals x plus 8. So on your homework, what you're going to see is horizontal table of values, but it's the same idea. They tell you the x value. They tell you the equation, so they're going to multiply 2 times x, and that's going to be your y value. So they've done the first couple for you. Now you're going to do 2 times -1. Well, remember your integer rules. A negative times a positive is a negative. So when x is -1, y equals -2. That's the point you're going to plot. When x is 0 and you plug it in, anything times 0 is 0. Oh, this one goes through the origin 0, 0. When x is 1, they've already done that and they found the point for you. Now when x is 2, y is 2 times 2. Well, 2 times 2 is 4. When x is 2, there's where I'm getting that x point, y is equal to 4. Now you're going to plot those points on the graph. So when x is -2, y is -4. When x is -1, y is -2. It goes through the origin 0, 0. When x is 1, y is 2. When x is 2, y is 4. Now you can draw that line. On your assignment that you're asked to do, there are 4 lines. It might be easier if you actually pick a different colored pencil and draw it a different color. So on your next graph, when you're doing y equals x minus 3, maybe do it red or in a different color. So this time, you're not multiplying, you're subtracting 3 from whatever you've chosen for x. So they did the first one. They went minus 2, minus 3, okay? If you think about a number line, when you're at negative 2 and you're subtracting 3, you're going to go to negative 5. Or remember, our rule was negative 1 plus a negative 3. The signs are the same. We keep the signs and add them. So when x is negative 1, y is negative 4. 0 minus 3, that means it's going to be negative 3. When x is 0, y is negative 3. You need to follow all of them. You're going to plug in the value for x, and then you're going to subtract 3. Well, 1 minus 3 is negative 2. So the point you're going to plot when x is 1, y is negative 2 for this equation. When x is 2, you plug in 2 for x, you subtract 3. Order matters when you're subtracting, so you have to do the x first, the value you picked for x, and subtract 3. 2 minus 3 is negative 1. When x is 2, y is negative 1. Well, once you've got your table of values and you've got all your points set up, now you can graph that line. At negative 2, y is negative 5. At negative 1, y was negative 4. When x was 0, so it's on the axis, y was negative 3. That's that point that I just drew. When x was 1, y was negative 2. And when x was 2, y was negative 1. Now I'm going to graph this line. It does not go, it's supposed to be straight. It does not go through the origin. That means it's not proportional, but it is still a lovely straight line. Proportional. It is the line y equals x minus 3. There's 2 more for you to do on that page. They gave you the table of values. Just substitute it in and watch your rules. On the back side, I want to show you a couple of things because you're going to have to complete the table, and this time it is a negative times an x. So it is going to be negative 2 times negative 2. Remember, 2 negatives give you a positive. It's going to be a negative 2 times a negative 1, so that will be plus 2. All right, I'm going to let you finish that one on your own, and then I want to show you one more thing. The second graph on the back side of the sheet you're doing today, it has a negative x plus 4. So whatever x was, it was negative 2. This negative sign outside is going to change the sign of the x. 2 negatives make a positive. So you end up with positive 2x plus 4. That's how they got a 6. Okay, it is a negative. Now we chose negative 1 for x. I'm just substituting in for x. Those 2 negatives give you a positive 1 plus 4. So y is going to be 5. Just be careful because of that negative sign outside in front of the x. That means this 1, when I plug this in, it becomes a negative 1 plus 4. So y is going to be 3. When x is 1, y is 3. This 2, it's a negative 2 plus 4. So negative 2 plus 4 is 2. When y is 2, well, x is 2. I didn't do 0 because 0 doesn't have a sign. So when I say 0 plus 4, I'm just going to get 4. Oh, look at me. I did them all for you. Now you get to graph that. Pick a different color so you can see the differences between the 4 lines that are going to end up on your graph that you do today. And don't forget, there's a form you need to do when you're done this problem, when you're done this sheet, and submit it. All right, we'll see you next class.